And here are the drawings of the parts you make. So for example, this one is 2 by 3.5. Now if you want to rotate this, like you'll notice if you right click in here, there's no rotate option, but if you download it and click on it here, and then go to it, to that page, oops, right here, now we could right click and you'll see rotate counterclockwise. And now you have a nice print. You could print it out as well if you want. 2 by 3.5. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to turn off real-time rendering. Go here to new part, and we're going to call this L1 for lab 1. Hit OK. I recommend you do these on your own first, or try them on your own if you feel that you can do it. And if you can't do it, just watch the video then. Front plane, start a sketch, and now go to the line tool. We haven't really used the line tool here. Draw a vertical line, it's a short one, and middle click on your wheel 2 times. Now double click on this dimension, type in 2. That's going to get us to scale. And then click on this zoom to fit. Maybe bring this in a little bit. And hit fit again. All right, and now you could use your wheel to zoom in and out. Let's get that in closer. All right, now I'm going to go over here to the line tool and continue on from down here. I'm going to drag this across, click, middle click, drag that down. I could do these all at once. I'm just showing you for new users so you get the proper scale. So that will be 3.5. Now you could go back to line, draw this across, and now you don't have to put in the dimensions as much. Just draw a short little line there, draw one down here. Now stay away from equal. See, notice this when you get that little equal symbol to the right of your pointer and it's in blue. Do you see that little circle? Stay away from equal. You can actually disable the equal if you don't like it. I actually like it, just not for this part. So make sure it's not equal. Remember, you could always delete those too. Just make sure you get the little vertical symbol to the right of your pointer, not the equal symbol. Click, drag this across here. Stay away from equals. Click, drag this up. This can actually be equal to that other line. So this is where it will work out okay. Now this next one, do not make it equal. Click, drag it down a bit further. No equals. Click, drag across, and infer to that end of that line. Click, and now connect it. And now middle click 1 time. Middle click a 2nd time, and the dimensions will appear. Now we have some dimensions we want, like this one right here, double click. That's going to be 1 for 1 inch. These others aren't really what we want, so we're going to use the dimension tool to override them. So click on this, after you click on the dimension tool, click on this line here, and then this line here, and then does anyone remember how to drop the dimensions? This is where it's a mind bender, because it's unlike any other CAD system I've ever used. And I've used close to 15 different CAD systems. All right, the wheel. 1 click. All right, there we go, 1.75. Enter. Now click on this line here to this line here. And again, the wheel, 1 click. And that's going to be 2.5. We don't need this one because it's already done. Now, how about this one right here? Click over here on the line, and then middle click over here to the right of it, and make that 0.85. Now click on this line here to this line here, hover over to the right, middle click, and that's going to be 1. All right, we're fully defined. We could go ahead and hit OK and go to extrude. Now the reason why we have to click extrude now is because I went with sketch. Remember I told you that trick? You could start with an extrude first or a sketch. Now I'm going to rotate this a little bit, and I'm going to use this little ball. This needs to be a 1/2 inch thick, so it seems to lock in 1/2 inches really well. Or you could type in the value here or here. Hit the green check. Okay, now I invite you to have fun with this. Experiment. This is your chance to enjoy this software. go to the rounds tool if you like and set the rounds maybe to maybe 0.25 or something like that, and just start adding some. Oh, I have it on chamfer. That's fine. Look at this. You could take it around and you could drag the chamfer and adjust them. Now I'm going to get this backside here and drag that. I'm going to make a really big chamfer there. And look at that. We've done some cool stuff here. We've really made this look like much more complex. And now we could go to the round tool, click over there, add a nice round there, maybe one here, oops, one there, that's too big, one there, and I think you guys get the idea. Hit OK. Now if you want to make this look pretty slick, go to the chamfer tool. We'll put a small one on 0.062. Select this edge, and it should just carry along certain edges. And I'm not going to add any more. Let's hit OK. And now let's try and shell it. Go to the shell tool. Select this face here. Set it to, we'll leave it at 0.051, what the heck. And remember, you could hold Control and select specific faces if you want to open those up. Hit the green check. And look at that. We've made a pretty cool looking part there. Much more interesting than what we had. My students, I invite you to have fun with it. This is great portfolio work. You're going to feel more comfortable with the software just by tinkering. And if you screw it up, don't worry. It's easy to fix. Well, not necessarily always easy to fix, but you could always hit the undo button and then bring it back to the original. Maybe save it before you do anything. Now, here's the thing. Those of you with the labs and these, I like you to turn them in through D2L. Now, I like them as a PDF. I don't like them as the part files because I don't have the room on my drive for all these parts. So what I would recommend doing is set this to shading with edges, because then I can really see it. Let's give it a decent view, something that looks interesting. Like that looks pretty cool. All right, now there's a couple ways you could do this. You could do a print, and if you do a quick print, and set it to your Microsoft Print to PDF. Let's test that to see if it does it. Hit OK. And notice I got it centered there. OK, I'm going to go ahead and on my desktop, I'm going to go ahead and call that L1. All right. And another thing, perspective really adds a nice appearance to it as well. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and check that. Should be on my desktop, L1. And look at this. There's the PDF. Let's do the next one. Go to New and Part L1b. Now this is a 3x5 block. And if we're looking at the training guide, which I think I already closed. Oh no, there it is. That's the next page here. So Lab 1B, we got a 3x5 block, and it's 1.5 inches thick, and a cutout that's 1.5 wide, centered, symmetric. It has some holes on it. Let's do it. All right, this one, just for the heck of it, I'll show you how you could do it on the top plane, and you'll see it really doesn't matter. It doesn't make much difference. Let's start the top plane, And we'll go with extrude first. And again, it's up to you if you want to start with a sketch. Go to center rectangle. Now we haven't used center rectangle. That's a little arrow there. Click in the center, draw out a small rectangle, middle click, and let's make it 3 by 5. Might have to zoom up on it. And now hit zoom to fit, or F. You can bring those in and even get it in closer. F. All right, now that we have our centered rectangle, the reason I made it centered is because it's symmetric. So it's going to be advantageous to do it this way. Go to circle, and over here, click, don't touch this edge. Don't touch the edges. Keep it away from the edges. Click, drop it right there, middle click 2 times. All right, let's go to dimension. Dimension the center point to the top edge. And I'm going to remember how to drop the dimension. Middle wheel button, 1 click. All right, and that's going to be 0.75. Now, center point to left edge, up here, middle click, 0.75, enter, and middle click 2 times. Now you could actually just double click on this one, make it 0.5. Now we want to get that in all 4 corners. Now you could take your time and just add each one and add dimensions, and you will learn a lot because you're learning the software. You'll become very proficient. It only takes a minute to do it, but I'm going to show you a little trick here on how to do it using the mirror tool. Mirror tool we don't touch till exercise 2, but I'm going to show you a little advanced right here. Okay, so the way you do it, you go to center line up here, right at the center, click, see how snap center, and then another one here, snap center, middle click 2 times. Those center lines now are used for mirroring, so watch this. Click on the circle, go to mirror, and select the center line you want to mirror across. That's it. Click off of it. You could click and select both of these holding control. You could do window. It's a little tricky because there's a lot of stuff up on the screen, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just holding control, select both of those, go to mirror, and select the horizontal center line. Mirrors across. So we got those positioned. Notice there's no dimensions, but there's equal symbols and there's symmetric constraint. So that's taking the place for the dimensions. So if we change anything here, watch how they all update. If I change this to 1, look at that, they all moved in. Let's change it back to 0.75. So they're all tied together. Now hit OK and rotate that. Let's get it to be 1.5. Hit OK. Now select this face. Go to extrude. Use center rectangle again. Draw the center rectangle right up here. Get snap to the edge. It's not showing me a green preview. Kind of is, but the preview doesn't seem to be working as well as I'd like it to. Middle click. Make sure that this is 1.5. Now I'm going to rotate it in advance just so you can see this. Hit OK. And look, it's extruding the wrong way, but we know we want it to go 1 inch, but then just flip the arrowhead. There it is. And it'll give you this, it'll say it's going to remove the material. I'm going to check in the future, don't tell me, because by now, hopefully you're becoming more advanced to where you know that it's automatically doing it. The AI is making decisions for you, which in this case is a good thing. Hit the green check. Done. Now if you want to enhance that, by all means, have fun with it. Go to the rounds tool, put some rounds in on this. Enhance it any way you like. Let's go to the chamfer tool. Now, if you add a chamfer to an edge of a hole, you've got a countersink. So you could actually use this for countersink. But the hole tool, which we're going to learn in exercise 4, has a countersink built in automatically for the hole tool. It's really pretty nice how it works. So you can do it this way or, oops, however way you want. I'll just add those. All right, so again, file. You're going to do a print, quick print, and print to PDF. Hit OK. You're going to locate it. And this is going to be L1b. Hit save. I hope you're enjoying the software. It's really neat. All these CAD softwares are great, fantastic tools. Creo is a very high-end tool. It's used in aerospace, and so if you're looking for a job in an aerospace company, it's a great one to get to know. All right, and that concludes this exercise.